In Call of Dragons, we're presented with so many heroes, and today I'm going to talk about specifically for mages, and this is going to be my rank list as a mage main player. This video was born when I have discussion with one of the top mage players about the way they choose their heroes and in general mage heroes. Of course, we're going to be presented with new mage heroes after the infantry, but in general, if you like this type of video, make sure you subscribe to this channel. And before I start, I have to mention something. I'm not going to include Margaret and Zeta. If you want to include Margaret and Zeta as a legion, as a pair, most likely this is going to be the best mage pairing in Call of Dragons. But since it's actually a marksman heroes, I just decide for this rank list to take them out, since if you're a mage main player, most likely you invest only in mages just to reduce your spendings, and Margaret and Zeta is something that you have to overinvest, and this is more for the whales type of thing. So starting on the bottom of this mage rank list, here we're going to find Ewin. Now some players are going to say that it's maybe good because it's having the slow march speed reduction. In general, we're not looking that much for the slow. We have other heroes like Varian, or for example the infantry slow when the infantry charge, so we're not focused over to slowing the target, since even if you slow the target, it's not going to be 100% guaranteed you're going to catch this target. Now the power of Elwyn is lay in her damage, or his damage basically, and you have a chance when you get attacked to apply some debuff that is going to do damage over time. But as a mage main, you don't want to get hit by anything. You don't want to get hit by infantry, by marksmen, or by other mages, because mages are very weak troop. Let's be honest, they're maybe one of the most weak troop in Call of Dragons. So you don't want to get hit by anything. And this is the ultimate, even Awakened. The Ewin is not something special. Of course, I'm going to demonstrate the spells of this hero and see how much damage it's going to do. It's not fully level 60, but just for the purpose of this video, you're going to see that most likely when it's getting hit, there's 15% chance, but yeah, right now you see the main spell that this hero is having, and it's not so big damage. It's not so big damage, and especially even if you're well, most likely you're not going to focus over this hero. Even if you want to run like 4 mage legions, you want to try to build some support legions, and the competition for mages are very high. So if you want to get on the place in the main marches as a hero, I mean the hero to get there, you definitely have to be very good hero. Now my review over Ewin have nothing to do that she's a epic hero, since we're going to see that we have actually epic heroes, epic mage heroes or supports that is going to outperform the legendary heroes. So talking about some very good heroes, the next place is for Atius. And the main power of this hero is actually Tio, since he can be ground hero, also he can be with flying units, and as we know at League of Order, the flying units there are Celestial, which perfectly fit for Atius. Now from first look, Atius is not looking like something special, but he's having pretty good hero skill damage factor, 800, even though that Ewin damage factor is more, but here we have some other powers. And one of them is because he's flank, and the second one lay in the second spell. And this is launching a normal attack has 30% chance to get 60 rage. Now this is with crucial importance, especially if you want to make one hero fire up his spell, or this hero just to fire up the artifact, since this rage regeneration is going to also apply to the artifacts. So you're going to hit more faster with your heroes, where the Atius is, for example, deputy, since he's actually don't have the talent tree to be commander. And the only difference between deputy and commander is the commander talent tree is in charge, not the deputy one. Now the other power that Atius is also having is increasing the march speed and damage taken reduction. And believe me, fighting mages against mages, you need this damage taken reduction, because most likely you're going to receive some kind of splash damage. Even if the enemy legion don't specifically target you, you most likely are going to get some splash damage from Lilia, from Velen, from Waldir. It didn't actually matter, but damage taken reduction is a huge. Also, Atios is providing with the healing when you awake him. And let's be honest, epic heroes are so easy to be awakened. Period. This is the most. All of my epic heroes are awakened. Even the new one that I get, Tara, it's awakened instantly. So it's easy to awake epic heroes, and this spell is giving 30% chance to receive healing when hit with normal attack. Now, again, I'm not huge over the huge fan on the spells that if you get hit, you're going to get something in return, because I don't want to get hit. No one want to get hit because this is extra damage, and no matter what you're going to receive is not a good thing. But still, I think this healing is some good thing for the Atios. Now, if I compare Atios with Eowyn, you're going to see the difference in the rage regeneration. This is something with huge importance. So far, as you can see, he is ready to fire up. And again, Eowyn just fired up for the first time, and Atios is ready to fire up for the second time. This is the power of Atios, this beautiful rage regeneration, and this proc for 60 rage is brutal. You can get from the talents, I think 10% chance to get like 10% chance to get like 50 rage. Atios is giving you 30% chance to get even 60 rage. Now, I personally prefer if I use flying units to include Atios, maybe when I go with Bertrand as a main hero, since he's having the skill talent tree, just to put Atios there, and just Bertrand is going to fire up over and over. It's going to be like, I don't know, like machine gun. So I really like Atios, especially when I do flying wars, because sometimes the wars is flying before the grounds get closer and you start using your ground heroes. Now, the next mage place was so hard for me actually to pick which one is going to be. So let me know in the comments below your personal opinion from your experience. Should on the next place will be Waldir or should be Velen? For me, on this place, I'm going to put Velen, and I'm going to explain you why. Now, people are going to maybe get confused why I put a Waldir over Velen, and the reason is simple. If I have even awakened Velen, if I have to be honest, I have him awakened, and the reason is Waldir, his spell don't have any kind of diffused damage, and if you awake him, he's going to provide you with second legion that he's going to hit. Normal spell is going to hit 3 legions, awakening is going to do hit 4 legions, and this increase the damage this bad boy are doing. And maybe I'm going to go later over the Waldir, going a little more in deep and why I put him before Velen. But what is the main power of the Velen? He's doing pretty decent damage, 1.2k, and march speed reduction 20%. Now I test Velen even with the control talent tree, when I specifically point this talent, reducing the march speed by 30%, and his rage skill is also reducing the march. I didn't see that big difference in slowing the marches. So maybe I'm going to take out the march speed reduction. Now, if we calculate how much damage Velen is going to hit on the 3 targets and taking out the diffused damage, which is 15% per extra legion, this is going to take out huge chunk from this 1.2k. This is the main reason I'm going to I put Waldir over Velen. Now, rest of the spells are pretty nice. Hero skill damage bonus 15%, magic critical rate. Maybe this is very important, since if you have a main hero commander that is going to have a skill talent tree, let's say for example Lilia, and she's having skill talent tree, you can go for the critical. Basically, you're going to get 10% chance to get 10% critical for 5 seconds, and having Velen critical rate is going to give you 20%. So every 5 hits, one is going to be a critical hit. This is with huge importance. Now for the Awakening of the Velen, this damage factor 400 is going to apply on the single legion if you don't run Velen with Waldir. Waldir as a commander, Velen as a deputy. And I'm going to explain why, because the way to apply frozen effects, so your rage skill do some damage, extra damage is 400 extra damage, it need to be applied before your rage skill fire up. And actually Velen have a spell, which is when the Battle Legion has 20% chance to inflict magic defense break and his Air Frost on the target for 3 seconds. This mean is only for one legion that is getting hitted by the Velen. Just one. And this is going to apply 400 extra damage just to one legion. Now if you run Waldir with Velen, you're going to get more legions because Waldir is doing this frost damage. But in general, Velen is kind of hero that is depending on a lot of things in general. Now on single target is going to do more damage for sure. Now if I compare Velen with Atios just hitting one target, of course you're going to see huge difference in the attack, since on the single target Velen is having no diffused damage. There is a big chance to actually find any kind of to find a single legion out of the, for example, the bow of mages that is moving, and it's very hard to actually hit in the center of the bow. So I have to give some props to the Velen that he's going to do very good in case of a single target, but still this diffused damage I think is the main reason that I'm going to put him below Waldir. And talking about the Waldir, here comes our bad boy, the hero that you're going to start with when you choose to play with League of Order, the Season 1 legendary hero, and this is Waldir. Now I already mentioned that the Waldir don't have any kind of diffused damage, so he's going to hit 4 legions for exactly same damage. Everybody's going to get hit with no diffused damage. Now the Waldir also have this hero skill damage bonus 15% like Velen have. Also is having a shield factor 600. This is a good thing, but it's triggered only one time per 20 seconds. So in case like this, you know, I have mixed feelings about this shield. It's very rare when I see him, but when you do mage wars and there is so many mages on one place, one mage bow against other mage bow, most likely you're going to get splash damage from somewhere, most likely. So this 600 shield factor is definitely going to get triggered on cooldown. Now the thing is, it's not that much, but still is on 20 seconds. Now normally one hero trigger his spell around 9 to 10 seconds, something like this. So in the normal situation, if this was apart from the rage skill, it's going to get triggered 2 times, but in general this shield is pretty good. And the awakening, this is maybe one, this is the awakening like the Lilia awakening. Since Lilia, when you awake her, she's going to add one more legion to her spell, and Waldir is doing absolutely the same. One legion to his spell, also increasing the damage from 600 to 700. And in total, if you look like this, Velen is going to hit 3 legions for even less damage per legion from Waldir hitting 4 legions. That's why I think Waldir is one idea better from the Velen. From my point of view, most of the times he's going to find like 2 legions close to each other, or maybe 1 legion, or just people go out with 3 legions. 3 mage legions. I normally run like 3 mage legions, but in general I think Waldir is one idea better from the Velen. And also is applying Ghoul. Now this is something that people maybe don't focus that much, but this is with crucial importance, since applying minus 20% damage as a debuff on the enemy is going to make them hit for less. and this is going to increase your survivability by a lot, or your friend's survivability. The enemy is just going to hit for less damage, and this is going to make your and your people around you legions survive more time. Now the time is not that much, it's like for 3 seconds, but if 10 seconds is needed Warrior to fire up his spell, this is like 30% from the time you fight there. There is going to be legions with this reducing of the attack with 20%, which is brutal amount of attack reduction. And of course we have one passive where the Legion magic unit gets 10% more magic attack and 10% HP. It's important to say magic attack since we're going to see what is the difference later in the video. And yeah, some HP, especially if you're League of Order, your Vestos is going to apply some HP boost to surrounding legions, so this is very nice extra boost of the HP of your Vestos. Now to compare these two legions, of course this is going to be on the single target, so most likely Velen is going to do more damage since there is not going to be any kind of diffused damage. But I still think that Warrior is going to also do good way. Now the artifact Warrior is having, we have to mention that this increased by a lot his attack, and most likely going to do pretty good damage since Warrior is having this frozen ring. But in general, yeah, Velen is going to do more damage on the single target, but Warrior is going to do over multiple targets. And the Alliance War and the whole huge fight is the moment where everything is decided for one alliance. And you want to be prepared with the best legions for this moment to support your alliance, getting more territory, getting behemoths, winning the season. Now there is not much mages left in our rank list. We have only Lilia, Bertrand and Toher, and on the next place I'm going to put Bertrand. Yeah, that's correct. It's not going to be Toher, it's going to be Bertrand, and I'm going to explain why. Now first, for the Bertrand, few words. If it's not awakening, it's doing 1.3k, and Toher is doing 1.5k just from the beginning, from the rage skill. So here we have advantage of the Toher if you go on 5111. If you awake, of course, Bertrand is going to have same amount of power. Also, this marks that is going to increase the hero skill damage, but not continuous damage, blah blah blah. Now, I think most of the people are familiar with Bertrand and Toher, but the main reason I'm going to put Bertrand is he's not doing the damage that Lilia are doing, and is not hitting faster as the Toher is going to hit. So this hero most likely you're going to use with the flying units or on the ground fights. Now I personally, as a mage main player, I didn't have that many flying fights. Maybe for fun, just when we gather like 30 legions and go on the enemy just to kill some workers there, or just to do some flank attack with the mages. Yeah, it's fun, but in general, if I take out the flying part, since I don't use that much the flying heroes, flying mages, basic celestials. I use celestials, but not as a flying over the mountains. Bertrand, I'm going to compare him with the ground, with the ground mages, and there I think he is doing brutal amount of damage with his skill. And if this skill is crit, I see like 55 crit from my rage skill of the Bertrand. And I was just, oh my god, what is going on there? But there is some weak points of the Bertrand that the other two heroes actually perform better. Now I have to mention that the Bertrand is having skill talent tree. For example, Toher is not having the skill talent tree. But I'm going to give some extra to Toher since as a mage main, I use mages on my garrison. And Toher is the hero that I use for my garrison. Till the Bertrand is the hero that I use as commander on the battlefield. And boy oh boy, I have seen crazy reports from the Toher Bertrand as garnison heroes. Of course, Margaret Zeta, this is generation 3. Don't mention that in the comments. Don't do it. I know Margaret Zeta is going to break the legs of the garnison like Toher and Bertrand, but still, I think is decent. I think the skills here is going to be at same weight, let's say same weight. Maybe Bertrand is going to be one idea because I'm going to use more these heroes on the battlefield from this defending my garnison. But yeah, the main reason is for the Bertrand to be on this place is he's hitting slower. Now, if I compare Bertrand with Wodir on the single target, this is not something even that I should do. Bertrand is going to crush Wodir on a single target, but still on the multiple targets, Wodir is going to perform better. But sometimes, if you want to snipe some Legion, this is the best way to do it with Bertrand and maybe Toher, or if you use flying units, you can go Bertrand with Atius, Bertrand with Thea. There is so many combination for the Bertrand as a flying hero. I personally prefer Bertrand and Thea just because it's going to increase his damage that is not small. And in same time, on the other side, Atios is just going to boost the rage. It's going to do some extra damage, but Thea is giving this shield that is increasing the survivability of the Bertrand and make this flying combo very decent. Also, I run with Atios. It strongly depend what mission what mission I'm going to do with Bertrand. And on place number 2, I'm going to bring Toher. Now, we already know that the Bertrand is having some boosters, you know, when Legion deal hero skill damage, they go the mark, blah, increasing hero skill damage bonus. That can go basically max tax 3 to 20%. Toher by default is having this 30% extra hero skill damage, which is brutal. But the main reason I actually put Toher before Bertrand is this spell, this passive spell. After launching 3 normal attacks, Toher channel Rage of Patio, dealing damage to the target every second for 3 seconds. Now this thing is hitting and finish before Bertrand fire up his spell, before any other mage fire up their spells. And why this is important? Because you're going to be able to do the poking, basically hitting the enemy legions, trigger 1 or 2 times or even 3 times and go back the Toher and go back, and like this you're going to do the damage, and in the same time the enemy is not going to hit you with the rage skill. This is very important since the mages, the main power of the mages are the rage skill, and if there is a mage that is going to do 1.5k on you before your hero even fire up, this hero is crazy. I use Bertrand a lot from the poking. It can be to marksmen, mages, infantry. It didn't actually matter. This guy have the speed because it's a rage, because it's a passive skill, and something when he finished his ultimate, 35% increasing the attack for 5 seconds. That's brutal amount of damage. And this damage when the Toher is in the garnison is doing crazy amount of damage. This 35% extra attack for 5 seconds. Now something else I can have to mention. When channeling Potio, Legions Undying, Shelter, blah, defense 35%. This is very big percentage, ladies and gentlemen. Counter attack damage taken reduction 15%, and this is maybe for the garrison. Increase garrison army attack by 20% when they are garrisoned in the city, blah, over 50 units remaining. And on top of that, after he fire up his spell, you're going to get extra 35. This is like 55% increasing the attack, and these bows are hitting are breaking legs. So of course I'm going to present you what I mean by that, and I'm going to create one legion where I'm going to include Bertrand as commander, and most and normally commander hitting are before the deputy. We're going to attack the same legion, and you're going to see that the Bertrand here we go. Toher is start hitting Bertrand as a commander. Is not even close to hit his rage skill. So this is going to give the great advantage over rest of the mages presented in Cow of Dragons. Just because you're going to fire up your spell and you can go back. And when you go out of the range, most likely the enemy mage is not going to follow you because they for sure is going to die if they go out that much from the bow, and this give you great opportunity for your Toher to do crazy amount of damage. So if I put Bertrand and Toher on the target, yeah, you're going to see the damage is going to be the same in general. Maybe Toher is going to do more damage, like 5.5k, 6k. Oh my god. This crazy amount of damage, but still I think now I make one rank list back in the days when the Bertrand and Toher was presented, and some people was not happy that I actually put Toher before Bertrand, but till these days I still think the Toher is better from Bertrand. And as you may guess, on the top place we have Lilia. Now, I'm not going to go that much over this hero. Is from the season 1. Most of the people are familiar with her. But the main weapon of the Lilia is her brutal amount of damage. This lady is doing crazy amount of damage. Now, not only... Now, normally if you have her awakened, she's going to hit 3 legions. Normally just hitting 2 legions. But the damage is 1.2k, is diffused. Have to mention that is diffused. But this is not actually the power of the Lilia. The power of the Lilia is the Scorch. Now for 5 seconds, there is 50% chance to inflict Scorch, dealing damage every second for 5 seconds. And every second is going to be 200 damage factor. So in total it's going to be like 1000 not diffused damage. 1000 not diffused damage. And if you hit 3 legions, let's say there is a diffused damage, but in the same time if you apply Scorch, this is like extra 1k, you know. And this hero from the season 1 till this day is the best mage in Cow of Dragons. We also have some boost, magic unit attack bonus 20%, HP 10%, you know, Leak of Order and magic attack. And this is the other spell that I want to mention, is when Legion launches a normal attack, 30% chance to scorch up to 2 surrounding legions when the target is scorched. So in these 5 seconds, when you apply your scorch, you have 30% per normal attack to actually spread to 2 more legions this scorch. So you can imagine how much damage this hero can actually do. And no wonder that she is still one of the best mages, if not the best mage in Cow of Dragons. Just the damage this lady are doing is crazy. Of my reports, even when I run Lilia with Thea, still she's outperforming the rest of my mages. If I run Lilia with Velen, it's even more damage in general. Now with Tara presented in Cow of Dragons, things can go a little more different. Of course, I'm going to make a video about my mages. Most likely I'm going to run this season, but yeah, on the top of the food chain is Lilia. So if I go out with Lilia and Toher, okay, Lilia is having some Celestials. Toher are not having Celestials, so you know this is going to be more damage for Lilia. But as you can see, Toher is even far up before Lilia, and here comes the bow of the Lilia. And applying this Scorch we talk about is like some extra damage. It's brutal hero, and it's from the season 1 till these days. I think Lilia is the best investment any player can actually do in Cow of Dragons. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day. If you want to support my work, you can become a member of my channel and get access to all membership videos and all the live streams. On top of that, you're going to also get shout out in every video I make till you have your membership. Plus, you'll have 15 minutes Discord call with me answering your question and helping you building your account.